Right?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Hello, people. We have a special guest today.
We
have Mr. Seth Enslow.
Seth, woo!
Yeah. And we have Dana Nicholson.
What up, Seth?
And we got Bubba. And myself, John. So we're going to give you some interesting stories behind the scenes of things that Seth has done over the years, which is kind of ridiculous. You're a bit much, I think. But, yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we on?
Why don't I ask you and Dana, when did you first meet Seth, and how did that turn out that you guys came to California?
Well, I can tell you.
Well, I met him first. So.
No, hey, wait a minute. Back up, Bub.
I had him first.
Wait. Shut up.
They're fighting over it?
For fuck's sake.
Okay, for starters, isn't this this is show number 7, right?
Show number 7, D. That's correct.
Wow. Okay, so show number 7. Seth, to catch you up to speed, so far, we've been just kind of talking shit about, John and I kind of meeting up a little bit of the snowboard stuff. We had Zabo, Davenport, we had Brett Johnson on, and you kind of getting to the point actually in the whole riddle of kind of where the point is where, in the early stages of the Crusty one, you kind of came out with Bub in the era of the Crusty Demon, or the early stages of it, in the Creatures of Habit era. So want to break it in kind of right there now that you're kind of up to speed at where we're at?
Yeah.
I worked at Race Tech back in the day, and we did Creatures of Habit with you. That was my first video and meeting you guys and all that stuff. And then you were starting to get into Crusty Demons of Dirt, going that hardcore snowboard style into the conservative motocross industry. At the time, it was conservative, but that was the beginning of freestyle motocross. Anyways, I worked at Race Tech Suspension, and my buddy came the cross country from Florida and stopped by and see me. He had this guy with him, and it was Seth. I met Seth the first time that day at Race Tech in the parking lot, and we were out in the parking lot, and I was checking out his bike in the back of his truck, and I saw a snowboard. I go, hey, I live with these guys right next to these guys, a pro snowboarder and Creatures of Habit movie and all that kind of stuff. And then Seth filled a bowl of a deer antler. We smoked out of a deer antler from Pennsylvania. And then, anyways, that's how I met him. And he came back to Huntington Beach, and then he met all you guys. And the rest is history. He asked for what he did after that. And that was in the beginning of stages of filming Crusty Demons of Dirt as well. So
my question to you, Seth, why did you come to California and you found us?
Well, after high school, I wanted to live somewhere where it didn't snow, so I could ride my dirt bike all year long.
There you go.
So, I moved to Florida, and got away from the snow for the winter and met Richie, who knew Bubba. Yeah. I talked to Richie about, hey, like, Florida's cool. There's no snow, but I want to move to California. That's where the terrain is. That's where the sand dunes are. That's motocrossers' dream, to live in California. Yeah. So we made a little plan. I was going to go home and paint houses for the summer, save my money, and we were going to meet at the 40, Interstate 40, and follow each other
all the way across
California, all the way across the states. Yeah. So we did. We left the day after Christmas. It would have been 1994, I think. 94, and drove out and got into town on a Thursday. Went straight to Glen Helen, road practice at Glen Helen, and then straight to Race Tech and met Bubba. And when Bubba started telling me about the Creatures of Habit videos, I knew exactly what he talked about, because we watched those before we went snowboarding. Every time we'd get amped to go snowboarding, we'd watch Creatures of Habit. We'd quote like Don Zabo's line, "Last Cigarette Boys," and "Going Big," and one-liners like that. So when Bubba said he knew Zabo and Dana Nicholson and Damian Sanders. I couldn't believe it. Like the first day in town, and I meet the guy that knows all the heroes of the videos I've been watching for my whole high school year. So, of course, I was all about meeting Dana and the rest of the crew and going to Huntington Beach and getting the ball rolling. And that's how it all started.
Yeah. Hey, remember the snowball, Seth? Remember when we packed a little snowball? We were like, oh, yeah, fucking. We were in my garage talking about the movies. We're like, yeah, watch the snowball downhill and just keep on rolling. Yep. Still rolling, right?
That was the little scenario that we made in your garage. Just pack a little snowball and just stand at the top of the hill and let it start rolling and just watch how big this thing gets and watch how many people it's going to pick up and how many people it's going to sling out. And we did, man. It was a worldwide success. That snowball got huge.
Yep. Yeah, sucked us all in too.
Yeah, so that's kind of the story.
Flatten me out.
You guys want to embellish, but that's kind of how Seth came in to meet Bubba, Dana, get involved with us, doing Creatures of Habit, which I was doing as a snowboard series. But then came this idea of dirt bikes, and we got into Crusty 1. Now, Seth, tell us, when was the first day that you went riding with either myself or Dana? It was probably Dana.
Manly, maybe. It was probably Manly.
Maybe Manly.
Yeah.
No, he worked with me. He got a job working with me. We were doing construction, dog.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I didn't have much money. I had about $1,400. My snowboard, my dirt bike. Didn't know anybody. Didn't have any place to stay. Nothing lined up. No job, anything like that. So, talking to Dana in the garage, we kind of made a game plan that we'd work together. He needed a partner. He asked me if I'd done drywall and framing, and of course I said yes, whether I'd done it or not. But
that's true.
Learned quick, and then he got me all the tools that I needed for the job and taught me the trade, took me under his wing, and we'd bring our dirt bikes to work with us. We'd work 6 to 2, and then at 2 o'clock, we'd just go out to the hills, Ritchie Canyon, and try to catch up with a few of the pro racers at the time and go free riding and get some footage.
Yeah. I remember the first time we went out, the first trip we went on, or whatever, first riding day, we went with Buddy Antonez, Emick, I think, and it was on the other side of the freeway by Beaumont, on the left side of the freeway. Remember that, Seth?
Yep.
Yeah, tucked under that little dump area. I think that was the first day, and you got the white 125 with the splatter paint still.
Yep, the 91 CR125. Everybody thought it was a Yamaha because it was all white with a purple seat.
We lost you guys' visual, Johnny. Where'd you go?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
The hell's going on?
All right, well, why don't we have them play the little intro? We'll get into the intro of.
Here you go. Here we go.
When we first went to. There you are.
Okay,
are you guys ready for a little demo, a little Seth demo of as when we started?
Yeah. And
started blossoming.
Maestro behind the curtain. We're gonna start and stop, but go ahead and play.
Uh-oh.
Turn it up.
Yeah,
Turn up
the music,
the
right?
Sound.
Crash. Boom, bam.
All right, let's stop. Stop.
All right, let's just hold it right there.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, no, Sethro.
What were you thinking?
What's going on here? What gear are you in, and why did you want to jump this? Because Brian Manley came up with this jump, and you thought you could maybe pin it, what, 4th gear, 5th gear?
Yeah, 4th gear.
4th gear. Brian was probably doing it in, what, 3rd?
Well, this thing about the sand dunes is every time you go, the wind has changed the jumps. So this jump that I saw this in the teaser, the jump that Brian Manley
and he's doing the double look back.
Yeah, Joel Ulbrich were hitting this jump in the teaser, and I said, I want to hit that jump. That looks awesome. We need to go there and hit that jump. So when we got there, the jump was way bigger. The wind had blown up the wind lip super tall. But it was my first time ever in the sand dunes. Blew up my 125 in the first 5 minutes.
Well, hey, Seth. Tell them where we were supposed to be going, and you kind of woke up here, if you remember that one.
Oh yeah, so we were supposed to be going to Mammoth Mountain for the border cross motocross.
That's right. Yeah.
And we had our snowboards and our dirt bikes. We were heading there, and I'm in a van full of snowboarders, but they're so over snowboarding and so into riding their motorcycles that they decided to sidetrack to detour, end up in Dumont sand dunes. I wake up there, and I was planning on waking up to seeing snow, and I wake up to seeing sand in Dumont. And
I gave you a demo.
yeah, they said, you know what, we don't even care about the snowboarding part of the contest. We just want to do the motocross part. So we decided we might as well just stop into Dumont and get some footage here, and then we'll keep going on to Mammoth and do the rest of the border cross motocross, after we get some shots in the dunes. So yeah, that's where we ended up, and I borrowed a brand new RM from a guy named Woody that was scared to hit the jumps after I blew my 125 up.
How did you blow up your 125?
It was just a 125, just wide open.
Just
blew it out. We
going
didn't jet
up
it.
the dunes.
We had jetting for the mountains for high elevation.
Yeah.
And in the dunes, you have to put in jetting for sea level.
Yeah.
There's a lot more air there. So yeah, it just wasn't jetted for the dunes, so it blew up quick.
Now on this bike, are you regular dirt tire or paddle?
All the bikes just had dirt tires because we weren't planning on going to the sand dunes.
This is
So
a
that
dirt
was just
tire.
a knobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you thought, what, fourth gear is a good idea?
Yeah, it wasn't an uphill takeoff. It was flats. I came across the flats. At the end of the flats, there was just a kicker. And like in hindsight, I probably should have made a rut out of that kicker. So it was more just a drop, step down. But I hit that kicker, and it threw me so high. By the time I started coming down, I'd passed the landing, and I was going to the flats. So I was just along for the ride.
So what's in your mind when you're up that high and you go, oh, shit?
Yeah, basically that's it. Oh, shit. And then it's just about flying that thing in and trying not to die.
Yeah.
Right.
So are you thinking you use the suspension? Don't throw it? Because a lot of people throw.
Yeah, you don't want to jump off. That bike's your only shield and your only bit of suspension to protect you. Otherwise, your body's taking all the impact. So let that bike take the impact as much as possible and then roll it out.
Because we've seen a lot of people, not in your circumstance, but they throw.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that actually for
They
years.
throw.
Yeah.
People said, man, were you thinking about jumping off? I would have jumped off the bike. I said, well, if I would have jumped off, I'd be dead or in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because the only reason
You're going to land like a freaking sausage on it.
I hit on the wheels and rolled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Scotty posted that shot the other day, and it was amazing how many comments that people wrote on that shot. I think it's one of the most famous motocross
Facebook reels or something.
Yeah,
Scotty put it up there. 1 million people just went, fuck, that guy's insane, and then a lot of older people go, I remember that. But then it's cool for kids now.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know you. They were probably little grommets, and they're going, oh, my dad used to watch that.
Yep.
Because it's back in probably 94.
Yep. 94. 19 years old.
Yeah. 94. You're 19.
Yep. That would have been 94, probably. End of 94, or just the early beginning of 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let the maestro behind the curtain. Let's let the shot go.
Let it run.
Mr. French, hit the play button.
Hit play. So here comes Sethro. There's no landing in sight.
Holy
Use the suspension there. What's this one? Is that called huck a footer?
Yeah, we just hucked some footers.
That's on. Isn't that my bike? Like in Africa?
That was Dana's bike down in El
Or
Cajon.
Dana's bike in Africa?
Not El Cajon.
El Cajon.
Was El Cajon.
Okay.
San Diego.
Okay, I'm wrong.
This shot here was in Mexico. The dunes in Mexico.
Oh, that was going to Rosarita.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play, Maestro.
Yeah. Nice whip.
Nice whip, and then what'd you get? Oh, a little high side.
Yeah, got sucked up.
There you
Oh,
go.
what's going on here?
Rolling down the windows.
That's Dana's bike too?
Yeah, you fucked up a lot of my bikes, huh?
That's in,
Yeah, it was your bike, huh?
in Peru. All the kids were stoked on us coming with dirt bikes.
Yeah, I think that was Peru.
Peru? Yeah,
Costa Rica?
I think that's Peru.
Peru, yeah.
That's Peru. Go ahead, Maestro.
Brazil. Yeah. Anyways.
That's Africa. Okay, let's stop.
Alabama.
Go forward just a little bit. See if we can see the zebras. Maestro, just a little bit. See if we can see the zebras.
Yep.
Maestro, play just a little bit.
He's like, you're fucked up, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you gotta stop going to compilations. It's too quick. If you're gonna talk about shit, we're gonna have to start pulling up
regular footage.
No, we have really good stuff.
Oh,
so anyways,
I know.
Let's talk about this shot.
That's where you want to stop.
There's zebras in the background, and there's lions, and there's hippos, and there's everything that can kill us.
Well, the problem,
cool looking, zebras are pretty tame, and giraffe were really cool, running around us. But the whole reason that we were doing this is Crusty 2. We actually had a little bit of a budget, and we said, Seth, want to go with us to South Africa? And we can ride in some of the biggest dunes, which is actually Namibia.
Hey, what about your fucked up leg shot? Why don't we get it off your fucked up leg shot?
Hey, there you go. There's another fucked up shot.
Didn't I stitch that up? All right, stop again. Stop.
Oh, there it is.
Remember the little pop top, and we'd sleep in that thing?
Yeah,
check it out.
That's what Zabo was talking about right there.
Things couldn't get us from the bottom, like snakes and scorpions.
Yeah, those are perfect.
Yeah, we had where Seth is laying right there. We had these little pop top things to go on safari out with wild animals, and reason that we had it on top so the little crawlers can't get you at night. And what else was there? There was like those warthogs and wild pigs and stuff that would come in, and they could mess you up pretty good if they stabbed you with a, little horn. But you definitely don't want a lion, coming in. Hippos, they're not going to do anything because they're so low,
Our hippos were the worst ones.
Well, we learned after skipping rocks, and I think you were on part of that.
Yeah, we were throwing rocks at him.
Throwing rocks and skipping it, and it hit a hippo in the head. And he came up with his full mouth, and he had a baby next to him or whatever.
Yeah.
We learned later that lions are number 2 killer of man. Hippos are number 1.
Yeah, right.
They can charge you at like 50 miles an hour.
Fast, yeah.
They're fast.
They'll just flatten you.
Yeah, if they're mad about like they're young and stuff like that, especially guys, from California skipping rocks off their head, that's not.
So let's get back.
Maestro, let's play more footage.
It's kind of a little hard watching these compilations, you know what I mean? Because
not really. Maestro, can we just play the footage?
I think Maestro's getting the memo.
Maestro's just on a bad one. There you go.
Maestro, can we have the
Well, we're on
playing?
him. Buckling.
Yeah, so that's the aftermath.
No, you can't.
You can't do this.
No, it's all up to him, which is fine.
Maestro, what do you got?
Maestro,
where you at? Jason, there he is. Jason,
Mr. French.
Jason.
Oh, we went to some funny places in now that we're stuck on Africa. Remember the guy that we went down?
Why don't you take the video off and let's get back to story time then?
Yeah.
Joe.
What about the time that we left South Africa to go to Namibia, and we had to go through that check place, and it went from white people with guns, and they warned us you're going to go to a country that's war torn, and it's mostly black, and they're going to tear you guys apart, and they're going to look through all your stuff. And they didn't think we were too funny. We were trying to make it a joke, like, "Hey, you guys ride, ostriches and stuff like that," and they were like,
"Did you stay pulling the grass?"
And they had machine guns, and remember, we went to an interesting country of Namibia that we had a great time there, but man, it was a little gnarly going from South Africa to Namibia because they just had a war. Remember, and Smanjack couldn't even get into that country because he didn't bring a passport. South African couldn't get into Namibia. Remember, and they turned him away, and we had to navigate getting Smanjack like the next day. We got through the border, but he didn't.
Yeah, we got him across eventually somehow.
We had to go pick him up at another border. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. But
yeah, I remember flying the fuck out of there. Me and Seth flew the hell out of there, out of Namibia. We're like, we're out of here later. Remember that one, Seth?
Yeah, thanks for that. You left me and Tommy to drive 35 hours back.
Yeah,
in 2 vehicles.
We're like
hell-torn, war-torn countries.
Yeah. We flew out of the Skeleton Coast.
That's right.
Skeleton Coast, where like diamonds wash up on the coastline there.
Yeah, what about...
They call it Diamond Coast as well.
What's one of your favorite countries, Seth, out of all these travels we've been to?
Australia.
Oh, yeah, Australia is good. I mean, that's kind of a second home to us. But South Africa was cool, for sure. I mean, they were all cool to see. Just all the different way people live in the third world countries, Costa Rica, and
Dominican Republic was third. Yeah,
it was all good.
Where else did we go? We went to Brazil.
Brazil was cool.
We went
Japan.
Oh yeah, Japan. You went to Japan.
Yeah. Peru.
That was Vice's favorite.
Yeah,
Japan.
Yeah, Peru.
That was
the sand dunes
pretty interesting.
What do you call it? The oasis or whatever. The sand dunes with the lake in it. That was rad.
Oh yeah,
that was Peru.
I saw somebody who was there recently with their motorcycles posted on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool sand dunes right above this weird oasis of a lake. What was the myth?
It had a mermaid in it.
There's like a
mermaid. There's like a mermaid that'll kill you if you go in the first time. Second time that you come, it's cool.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No first timers.
Yeah. Maestro, do we have some more footage to play?
Mr. French?
Bub, it's 3:40.
You get a fucking F.
Wizard.
Fail.
It's 3:40, bub.
Is it?
You know what that means?
It means I got another fucking interview in an hour.
Nah, it means it equates to 4:20 somehow.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry.
I don't think we're in the right place. We need to go back a little bit.
Hey, you guys are fucking...
People said what Dana said about the issues I needed to work out with myself. They thought the same thing.
There's the fire.
Oh, man.
By, I wanted to break this world record distance of 251 feet. And I tried at St. Mara's house one year back in December of 99.
That was...
You're going a little too close.
Ended up overjumping it, cracking my head on the handlebars, getting split open.
Seth, don't get up. Do not get up, buddy. Okay? Do not get up.
You're not going to be able to relive the last 10 years that we've had. No way.
There you go.
Oh, I remember that one. Pismo. Why'd you hit Bub in the face?
Yeah, you fucking knocked me out.
Oh, there's a lip out.
Canada was thorny.
Oh, was it? Yeah. All right, stop.
Up.
Jesus.
Look at my butt.
Boy. I
He's
can certain
a little
lose ass.
slow on the trigger, but that's a little.
Can we rewind that just for a minute? Maestro? Wizard?
You need a
Yeah.
little stop button, John.
Oh yeah, you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Leave it
Hey,
there.
stop. Stop on the chick.
That's fine.
You went way back.
Yeah, you went back to that crash.
All right. Anyways, let's talk about
No,
that.
no. Let's go to that crash on the bikes. That's a good
fuck?
story.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
Go forward just a little bit. Let's go. A little bit. We're almost there. Almost there.
He's looking for the one landing on the bikes. There you go.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah, stop right there.
Little
Good
bit.
enough.
Yeah. Okay, play. Just play. No, you got to go back. Little bit.
People still think that's me running.
Okay, stop. Yeah, you're good.
That's why you don't.
Okay, stop. Stop. All right, so Sethro.
Look at my bike.
Look at my bike.
What were you thinking, guy?
All right. Turn it off. Just turn it off and let him story time.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one.
We're
What
trying
was
to freeze frame it.
happening there? That we were out there filming with like McGrath, Emick, and you had a bike that wasn't
Hey, bud.
ready to go. So you were wrenching on your bike and you were trying to catch up with us. And I'll let you take it from there. You saw us out there with the guys all doing the jump.
Yeah, I still hadn't got a new motorcycle yet, so I bought an old. It was 1995. I bought an old 1992 RM250 off a friend, off Damien actually, Damien Sanders, and then I got a 95 frame and swing arm from Greg Albertine, like a spare frame that he had laying around. So I tried to put the 92 motor in the 95 frame to make it look like a newer bike. And all the engine mounts didn't line up. And it was basically a basket case that I brought to the sand dunes to put together there. And I was kind of lagging, putting it together. It was taking a little longer than I thought. And the boys were getting antsy, so they took off to go film at a competition hill in Glamis, sand dunes. And they told me where they'd be, so I got the bike together and chased after them, found them, pulled up to the in run, and looked at McGrath, and he looked at me, and he said, the deal, fourth gear, follow the rut. So I didn't go look at the landing. I didn't go take a test run, nothing. I just thought I showed up late and I needed to catch up. So I made a run at it, fourth gear wide open. As I was going to takeoff, my bike started bogging. Come to find out later, the power valve wasn't hooked up. The guy who rebuilt the motor broke the plastic clip for the little arm that comes out of the bottom end.
On those bikes, on those
Yeah,
bikes.
so I had no power valve. My exhaust valves were closed, so it wasn't letting the bike breathe. Ran fine going downhill and on the flats, but then as soon as you put it under a load, it didn't want to climb. But I was already committed. I was already fourth gear taped, so I just stayed into it. And come up to the top of the takeoff, just saw blue sky till I left the sand, and I see the landing, and everybody's sitting on the safety deck of the landing, basically. All the pros were jumping over their heads, but I didn't have the speed to clear them. So, I'm thinking, I hope these guys see me and get out of the way. Just trying to find my landing pad. And I was lined up perfectly to case the side of a 1996 brand new CR250 that was actually owned by Jeremy McGrath. He was letting Lawrence Lewis, the guy that was whining about his bike being landed on, folded that thing, bent the frame, crushed the radiator, put a hole in the gas tank. There was three-wheelers with a tire blown off the bead, metal gas tanks on old quads with holes in them, spitting gas out on the sand. I mean, there was a lot of destruction. Luckily, nobody got hit or landed on. I ripped my jersey and broke my clutch perch on my bike. That was it. I rode my bike away back to the pits and just, ruined a few three-wheelers, four-wheelers in that brand new 96.
Did people want to fight you?
Yeah, I remember Ryan Hughes was pretty upset.
Yeah.
And Rusty Setzer and Ryan had words. And
yeah,
a lot of the guys were mumbling. you shouldn't even be doing these jumps. You know, you're not good enough to hit these jumps. And I was like, you know what? If you let me ride your factory Kawasaki or Honda, I got this jump no problem. I'll tell you what, you try clearing this jump on this old roached out 92 Suzuki with no power valve and see if you can clear it. And then they all shut up. So
Yeah.
And then after that, what was it?
You shouldn't even be trying these jumps.
Yeah, he got pissed off because he just bought the practice bike off Jeremy McGrath, and that's what you just cased on.
Yep.
And he's the one in the background. You shouldn't even be trying these jumps, guy.
Yep.
And that kind of get heated with Rhino and this and that.
That story is funny because the next year, Lawrence Lewis went back to that same jump on his new bike and tried to do it, and he crashed bad, and he had to have surgery. He ruined his wrist, broke his wrist all apart.
And nobody was filming it.
Got injured really bad. And the year before, he's telling me I shouldn't be trying those jumps, and he ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I got a new bike out of the deal. That was my first brand new bike. That 96 I landed on. Fleshwound Films ended up buying it.
That's right.
You and Dana purchased it off of
McGrath.
Well, basically, you got it. He gave it to you. You bought him a new bike. Is what happened. You went to Honda of Troy. You bought him a new bike.
Yeah.
We got the old one.
Yeah.
Bought a new frame, new radiator, new gas tank, and I got a brand new bike to ride for the rest of the year. And that bike's the one we ended up taking apart, taking in gear bags, and bringing it to Brazil with us.
Oh yeah, right. Want us to bring dirt bikes there because we were going to sell it.
Yeah. So we took it all apart.
Took it apart.
Just parts.
Yeah, you guys brought it on the motor on board.
Completely stripped down. That bike and Kerry Hart's YZ250. We totally stripped down.
That's right.
Wheels in one bag,
Kerry,
motor in another, and told Customs that it was all just race parts for the bike we were borrowing there.
Yeah.
Got there, filmed the whole month, and then sold.
That was funny.
That was good.
Then we twisted the tires in the figure eight.
The guy before he bought it.
Yeah, one last huck.
Yeah, he goes, "Can you huck it one more time?" or something to that effect. And you pinned it like fifth gear as far as you could go on those white sand dunes.
Yeah.
And you just exploded on the end. Yeah. And then you gave the guy the bike, like, "Here you go."
Yeah, well,
congratulations.
It was that jump that they were hitting in like third gear. And I said, all right, last jump on this bike, I'm going to hit it in fourth gear.
Yeah.
And Grayson Goodman and Denny Stevenson were there. And Grayson said, why don't you just click fifth? Like being a smart ass. So when I'm coming out the jump fourth gear taped, I just remembered Grayson being a bitch and saying, why don't you click fifth? So I clicked fifth and just went for it. And just pretty much flats just grenaded. Just blew me off the bike. That was a good back compression. But yeah, that was it. That was the last
and then you gave it to the guy that bought it, and he said, "Here you go."
Well, sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, nice.
That's good stuff.
How we looking on time? You want to wrap this one up? And
we could wrap this one
into
up.
It again.
Our maestro will work with on the next one because there's so much more of Seth to go. So I think. Why don't we say goodbye to our audience?
We got to see this. Rusty's about to jump off this. I think this is in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Yeah, it is.
And he's trying to hit the couch 3 stories down.
I want to hit this comforter.
He missed the couch and just landed straight on the pavers.
And Bubba's right. He said, "I missed the comforter."
Yeah, let's
What's
play
a
it out.
comforter of 3 stories? He landed in between them.
All right, later, boys.
Later.
All right.
Everyone suck it.
See you guys. Are we done, Jason? So,
Holy fuck.
I think we're done.